Good afternoon, enthusiasts, and don't mind me, I'm just looking at my park maps. Why? Because I have a lot of homework and I'm procrastinating again. This Six Flags Over Texas map from 2019 is actually pretty neat. I like how it has brief descriptions on all the roller coasters here. Like, for example, it says that New Texas Giant is the tallest hybrid coaster in the world. Wait a hot sec, I can smell fake news from a mile away. Guys, I think they're lying to us here. This wouldn't be the first time Six Flags lied to us. I remember back in 2018 when they said that West Coast Racers would open in 2019. And look what happened. Six Flags may get a few, or most things wrong, but every now and then, the stars align and Six Flags actually does something good for once. Like, they were the first company to hire RMC, and that's all I got. New Texas Giant, known for being the first ever hybrid roller coaster built by Rocky Mountain Construction. Designed by our Lord and Savior, Alan Schilke, New Texas Giant was a complete overhaul of an old rough wooden roller coaster. And this coaster would lead to a decade of RMC dominance in the industry. And the coasters just kept getting bigger and better. But if it wasn't for New Texas Giant, we wouldn't have the RMCs with the wacky elements or the Raptor models. The future of RMC depended on New Texas Giant. Yeah, that's all I wrote for the script so far. I really didn't have time to prepare for this coaster review, so unfortunately I cannot talk about this coaster's history without screwing up. But I do know a guy.
So the real reason why all my predictions are correct is... it looks like Northstar Coasters is calling me. Hey Northstar Coasters, I hope you're not calling me to sell some Pepsi Orange.
Oh, of course not. I'm calling because I need some help on my roller coaster review.
But I have a very important video that I need to make.
Seriously? Come on.
What's the video on?
Oh, your favorite roller coaster.
Oh, Big Ben rebooted the new RMC Raptor for Over Texas in 2023?
What?
What?
I meant New Texas Giants, and they don't have an RMC Raptor.
Not yet.
What?
What?
No, come on, can you just help out?
I'm kind of busy with the very important video though.
Help me out, or I will tell everyone what you look like without your mask on.
Nice try, but you don't have a clue of what I look like.
Dang it. I'll tell everyone how you make your predictions.
Okay then, do it.
Alright, bet. JV Thrills is a time traveler. Oh crud, not again. Wait. Where am I?
Oh, you're now out of the time-space continuum. Now floating freely outside of the fabric of reality. So you're in an alternate dimension where matter and physics don't exist. Essentially a very, very dark void. Are you in that void now?
I think so? Come on man, just help me out, okay? It will take like 12 minutes.
Alright, fine.
Holy crap! Oh.
Alright, I'm ready.
Yeah, go ahead.
In the year of 1990, the legendary Texas Giant would open at Six Flags Over Texas. This wooden coaster will be the tallest and fastest at the time, with a max height of 143 feet and a max speed of 62 miles per hour. The coaster became an icon for Six Flags Over Texas, and people really enjoyed it. But as time flew by, the coaster got more rough, to the point where it became infamous for being painful, and retracking couldn't help. But then, a new coaster company surfaced, which was Rocky Mountain Construction, or RMC for short. RMC had the revolutionary idea to combine wood and steel to create a new type of coaster called hybrids. Basically, they could make brand new coasters, or refurbish old ones, by replacing the wooden track with a steel track and the supports with a mix of metal and wood. This new type of design could make wooden coasters more smoother, and also allow it to do things that wooden coasters couldn't traditionally do. Six Flags saw the potential in this company, and thought, why not use RMC to refurbish our old coaster, Texas Giant, and make it new? That way they don't have to destroy Texas Giant, and test to see if this company actually works. So then, in the year 2011, New Texas Giant made its debut at Six Flags Over Texas, and was the first ever hybrid coaster.
The Giant has awakened. Six Flags new Texas Giant. Higher, faster, the world's smoothest wooden coaster with beyond vertical bank turns and the world's steepest drop. Now everyone pays kids' price with coupons from McDonald's or at sixflags.com. The legendary new Texas Giant. Go big. Go Six Flags Over Texas.
After its debut, it was one of the most popular coasters in the park, and was revolutionary, which sparked the creation of more RMC hybrids, and eventually a single rail coaster, slowly making Rocky Mountain Construction a top-tier coaster company. And now, while New Texas Giant is considered outdated since it has no inversions like the other RMC hybrids, it's still an amazing coaster and it's a classic, because without it, we wouldn't get any other RMC hybrids.
Classic success story. Though I do believe that Gemini and Excalibur were the first hybrid coasters.
No. Gemini and Excalibur are mine trains.
No, they're hybrids.
Mine trains.
Are not.
R2.
They're hybrids. They both are over 100 feet tall. They both have different trains. They both have airtime.
Aren't we supposed to be talking about New Texas Giant?
What?
New Texas Giant.
New Texas Giant? I love New Texas Giant.
Yeah. Are we going to review it?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Alright, first off is the name, and holy crap, this name is just okay. I'm not really the biggest fan of the new in front of Texas Giant. And yes, I get it. I know why they called this thing New Texas Giant, because when it opened, they had to tell the GP that this was not the same as the old Texas Giant. But guys, this thing isn't new anymore, okay? It's 10 years old now. It was the first ever RMC in existence.
Yeah, true. But it could have been the same old Six Flags clone name, like Twisted, Iron, or Steel. Just imagine, Iron Giant, the coaster. Yeah, I don't think so.
Alright, fine, I see what you mean, but still, this name isn't the greatest. I guess it could have been worse, but at least the theme on this coaster is decent. We have Cadillac cars for the trains, and we have Texas horns on them. That's a nice touch. And if you couldn't tell already, this roller coaster is themed to, well, Texas.
There's also an Easter egg. In the center of the attraction, there's an oil derrick that shoots fire with the name Angus Oil on it. It's called Angus Oil because it's a reference to Angus G. Wynn, the creator of Six Flags Over Texas.
Wait, it has fire effects? I never saw that.
Yeah, because it only happens 50% of the time.
Of course. Every time I go to a Six Flags or even a Cedar Fair park, they always never have the special effects on. Come on. Alright, now it's time to talk about the ride experience of this thing, so let's get into it. After you dispatch, you come out of the station and get a great view of Titan, and you slowly turn into the chain lift. And if you've been on any RMC hybrid before, you probably know that when the train hits the chain lift, it sounds like a million forks going through the garbage disposal. Anyways, you climb 153 feet, giving a great view of the park around you. And before you know it, you come to your first drop. And this drop is sloped at 79 degrees. Are you kidding me? Alright, listen. I know this was the first RMC, so they probably could not have done a vertical angle, but seriously, you were so close to 80 degrees. Like, just 1 degree off and you couldn't do it. This bothers me. Anyways, this drop is actually pretty sick. You get some great airtime in the back row, like really good airtime. In fact, I would say that any seat on this first drop is going to give you some great airtime, but in my personal opinion, I think the very back is the best place to be on this first drop. So yeah, overall, pretty good first drop. After you hit a top speed of 65 miles per hour, you kind of hump up into this wave turn. That hump you do before the turn actually gives some great airtime, especially if you're in the back row, And the wave turn, oh my gosh, I love wave turns. They are just so fun and enjoyable, and this one is no exception. But if you thought that wave turn was great, the next one is even better. Why? Well, not only is this wave turn fun, but it also kind of whips you back down if you're in the back row. Like this transition right here, just really whippy. I loved it, and it's probably my favorite wave turn on the ride. Following that, we go up into a 95-degree overbank turn. Now, this overbank turn is the closest thing you'll get to an inversion on New Texas Giant, because, well, there aren't any inversions on this ride, but that's okay. It was the first RMC, and you know what? This overbank turn is still very fun and very enjoyable. After that, we have an Airtime Hill, which is basically a speed hill giving us some great airtime. Then we rise up into the mid-course brake run, which does not slow you down at all. You hear that, Wild Thing and Mamba? Take notes. After that, we curve down into an Airtime Hill with some great airtime. But after that, we hit an Airtime Hill with even better airtime. But just you wait, this Airtime Hill has even better airtime. But wait, there's more. There's more airtime right here on this hill. Then after that, we have, again, more airtime on this Airtime Hill. Did I mention there was airtime moments on these hills? Because guys, these airtime hills are the real deal, okay? It's just one after another, airtime moment after airtime moment. And it's even better in the back row. The front's okay, but the back row is amazing, okay? After that, we have some more airtime hills and tunnels this time, which, you know, is pretty cool. But in this point in the ride, I could kind of feel the coaster losing some steam. Like, the airtime moments are still great, just not as powerful, and honestly, this part of the ride is probably the weakest part. Oh look, it's the final brake run. So, that concludes your ride on New Texas Giant. Before I give my final thoughts, I want to talk about how smooth this roller coaster is, because guys, this roller coaster is just buttery smooth, alright? No bumps, no potholes, just completely smooth ride. As for the restraints, I really didn't have any issues with the restraints. I thought they were just fine. Just don't get stapled, because I did for one ride and that was not fun. But yeah, overall, no complaints. Fun fact, these are not RMC trains, they're Gerstlauer trains. Because for some reason, RMC built this ride and then realized, oh shoot, we don't have any trains. So, one quick call to Gerstlauer later, and New Texas Giant has trains with these awkward glass shield things on the sides. I have no idea what they're there for. So, for this roller coaster, I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is New Texas Giant. Is it a perfect ride? No, it lacks what some of the newer RMCs have. But considering this was a prototype ride, it was the best it could have been. I'm willing to go as far to say that this is the best prototype coaster ever made. But don't take my word for it.
New Texas Giant at Six Flags Over Texas is an amazing RMC hybrid, and despite being the first, meaning it has no inversions, it actually packs a punch with extreme airtime and fast pacing. So overall, I highly recommend it, and if you want an extreme experience, then definitely sit in the last row. But anyways, when you go to Six Flags Over Texas, make sure to not miss out on this amazing coaster.
Don't even take his word for it. Go to Six Flags Over Texas, ride New Texas Giant, and form your own opinion. But I got a feeling that you'll like it a lot. But anyways guys, that'll do it for today. Huge thank you to JB Thrills for coming onto this video. You can find his channel in the description box. There's a link down there, I think. But as for you guys, take it easy, and I'll see you next time on North Star Coasters. But don't take my word for it. This happens every time, I swear. Don't take his word for it either. Go to Six... I really need to get into a couch.